Hello, this is Jim Phillips with Remember Veteran Grave Markers. I want to share with you a personal story that happened in December 1985. Well, in December 1985, I was still in the Air Force, working at Wright-Patterson Air Force Base as an X-ray tech. Uh, Good life, doing good things. And I get notified around the 13th of December that they're looking for people to go to Dover to help out. Well, I was not aware of the fact that the uh, what I was going to be assisting with had even occurred, so I had to research that shortly thereafter. But I said, okay, I'll go. I'll go TDY. So I packed up my stuff and went TDY to Dover and went to their morgue. Now, all this was happening, and what I found out is that I was detailed there to help identify and x-ray the remains of the soldiers coming over. Now, I didn't know what to expect. I've never dealt with something like that before, a mass tragedy of that nature. But what I found out is that, as I got there and I started my work, it's really surreal. It's like I see, bodies of men coming in a variety of different states. Some of them look like they're just sleeping. Others look just absolutely um, kind of unmentionable. It's just, the damage done to their bodies has been tremendous. But the reality is this, is that they're all individuals, they're all souls, and, um, you know, so I went there and I x-rayed the remains of probably 30% up to 50% of the soldiers that were there. Myself and an assistant with me. It's to me this of all of my 20-year career in the military, that has been the one point that has been the most prideful, but also most haunting of experiences. Being there and serving and helping those men out, knowing that they were coming home for Christmas and knowing that their families were waiting for them and knowing that that was never going to occur the way that they were hoping it to happen. I was very proud of the fact that the men and women that I worked with, from the Army and the Air Force, were very professional. The people over at Mortuary Affairs who ensured that every soldier received a uniform properly marked with the uh, medals and emblems that they were supposed to have as part of their last personal or their military personal effects. That all went extremely well. Now, this became something that I noted because I was flipping through the internet and I found uh, a 40-year reunion, a remembrance reunion up in Gander, Newfoundland, by the people of Gander, who then also invited people from family members from the 101st down in Fort Campbell, Kentucky. So I wanted to add my thoughts to this, and which I have, and I wanted to let others know that I remember those men that served, those men that died, and and I remember their families and keep them in my prayers because the loss of family at that time of year, any time for that matter, but particularly as they're coming home excited about Christmas and knowing that that Christmas was was dampened. So I have nothing to share regarding um, stuff that I've done, cleaning and other things. Remember, Veteran Grave Markers is still moving ahead, doing what it's supposed to do. But this one was just specifically for people and the experience that I had, and I want to share with you the experience that I had with this. It's still, I still think about it often. Every year at this time, it's a deep reflection, and it was a nice piece that was put out by the Canadians over at I think it was NTV over there in Newfoundland. I'd like to thank Colleen Lewis from NTV for the video that you'll see right after this. It's a remembrance and a reflection on the tragedy of 40 years ago. Please remember that that's 258 souls that died on that day, and this is a remembrance for them. Please like, subscribe, and share to this video. I think this one particularly is important because it's a remembrance of 258 people who, as an X-ray tech working for the Air Force, being able to touch and hold and remember, and sometimes just shed a tear because it was just such a big tragedy. I think this is a big one to save and watch. So with that being said, please reflect on the next video that you see from Colleen Lewis. Take care. God bless. Merry Christmas.
40 years ago today, that Aero Air Flight 1285 crashed in Gander, killing all 248 passengers and crew members. Today, many of the first responders and family members were in Gander to remember. NTV's Colleen Lewis was there.
The Silent Witness Memorial is the site of the deadliest aviation accident in Canadian history. This week marks 40 years since the crash. And today, the town of Gander, along with family members and first responders, are remembering in a special ceremony.
You treated every single life lost with the dignity and respect due to a soldier. You helped recover and return each and every service member to their loved ones in the United States. Gander acted as one force at the ready. Every corner of this community, those who serve, those who respond, those who protect.
Throughout the week, many family members visited the memorial for the first time. Rosemary Pretty lost her brother in the crash.
My parents were watching TV, and it was the TV news. It was called Good Morning America. And I heard, because I knew my brother was coming back. I didn't know the exact timing, but we heard on the news there was a crash, and then we heard where. So then I just ran into the living room. I didn't run. I tried to be calm, but I said, wasn't he coming that way? And they just wouldn't answer. They just froze up.
They were heading for Kentucky. Their loved ones waited there. But only moments later, they were torn from the air.
Gary Tuff was a firefighter here in 1985. And as he worked tirelessly at the crash site, the families of the young soldiers were never far from his mind.
Oh, no doubt. You walk in on a site, and just before Christmas, and every person that was on that flight was somebody's father, somebody's brother, or whatever, right, or sister, and so it hit me pretty quickly.
For me, this commemoration is deeply personal. My father, Corporal Stephen Parsons, Royal Canadian Mounted Police, out of the Clarenville Detachment, was one of the first responders that day. He witnessed firsthand the enormity of the tragedy and the resilience of those who bore its weight.
The families here this week included visitors like the wife of the civilian pilot of Flight 1285 and other younger relatives who never got to meet the soldiers on their way home for Christmas.
You worked so hard to bring our loved ones back home so we could say goodbye to them. And I just want you to know, on behalf of all the family, we see you, we appreciate what you did.
After 40 years, a lot has changed, but Gander will never forget.
May you find comfort
and peace in knowing your loved ones are never forgotten by us here in Newfoundland and Labrador.
For NTV News, I'm Colleen Lewis in Gander.